Hello everyone, welcome back to 89 Reviews. I'm Abdullah Malik and I'm joined by...
Mikhail Said.
Today we're going to be reviewing Mission Impossible. Aisha, please go ahead.
So, give us your quick first impressions. What were you expecting, and did it meet those expectations?
What do you think?
Honestly, I had a bit like my parents went before me. So my parents told me they're like, it has a lot of flashbacks from the old movies. So I was expecting something more nostalgic and emotional considering this is the last film. I don't think there were any setbacks or anything I felt that was unnecessary. I thought it was a very well packaged film.
I think it's the first time that there was a part 1 and a part 2, so everyone was kind of left on the cliffhanger after part 1.
True.
So everyone was kind of waiting,
this.
anticipating what's going to happen, because I felt like this time actually you felt like it was Mission Impossible, where he couldn't,
And the way they had framed it throughout, like
Exactly.
just one man who can say it was a bit like Bollywood in that sense, like ek banda hi theek kar sakta hai, but I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Same.
So, it's been called wildly entertaining by some and mostly B-rolls by others.
No.
Where do you fall on that spectrum?
I think it was wildly entertaining
Yeah.
because there was action from minute 1 to minute
And I don't see the part of it being B-roll anywhere. I can see why people would say that because they're shots from all the previous films, but I think that's far from the essence of the film. Like there was a whole storyline. There was a lot. Like, I don't understand why you'd say B-roll. Like there's
the whole storyline matched also. So anything that they were showing from previous, it all was accurate to
Like-
what was going on right now in the movie.
You know, like that. I think that iconic scene of like when he's like hanging like this.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, they showed the guy from that coming back. So there was no. I wouldn't say B-roll at any point.
Yeah.
No.
It all made sense.
So, did it feel too long for you? It was a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
It was 2 hours, 50 minutes, and it did not feel long at all.
We actually saw it together.
Yeah.
And I felt like maybe it was a bit too long because I think we're not used to nowadays, like modern movies are more between 1.5 hours to 2 hours.
Like Bollywood used to be about 3, 3.5
Yeah.
and even they've come down to 1.5 hours. So
Yeah.
this was a bit on the longer side,
Yeah.
but I couldn't, like, for me, I think I was so engrossed in the story because there was so many times where you were like rooting for
It wasn't
him.
slow at any
Suspense.
point.
It wasn't slow.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And it could feel like a drag, but didn't to me personally. But it did to him.
Yeah.
Was the story easy to follow, or was it like the usual double crosses and plot twist?
It was pretty easy to follow,
Yeah.
but it has to be someone who's actually watched the previous movies like I feel like with other Mission Impossible movies, because they aren't usually related to each other, you can watch it without having watched the previous one. But with this one, because they're referencing the past so much, you have to kind of be a Mission Impossible fan to understand,
I'm
everything.
going to disagree with him over there. I feel like I've forgotten a lot of the last movie. It's been a while since I watched that, and I still really grasp the concept of
But
this
don't you think
movie.
that imagine if like you had remembered exactly that scene
So
that
for
you're talking
me,
about?
I
you would have
wanted to
seen
watch that,
yeah.
the YouTube like little
Yeah,
things
yeah.
where they
Clips,
recap the
yeah.
previous movie. I wanted to do that, but then it just slipped my mind last minute. But I think overall it's very easy to understand. You don't need to.
Because then, if, for example, you had seen that guy, as soon as you had seen that guy,
You would have
been like,
yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
same
yeah.
guy from that first movie. So I
Yeah.
guess that those references are still there.
Yeah, but I feel like overall, even for someone that's like a newbie to Mission
Yeah.
Impossible, this is the first Mission Impossible they watch, they may not appreciate or enjoy it as much, but I don't think that would mean like they wouldn't understand it. Yeah.
How was Tom Cruise in this one? Is he still selling it, or are the cracks showing?
He's still selling it for me. He's looking a bit old.
He's
he's looking a bit
Buddhu,
wrinkly,
chubby.
but the
Yeah.
running, all
And he
the
did
action.
a lot of running
Yeah.
in this movie compared to others because he has like an iconic run. You see
Yeah.
it from the one in the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
That one he runs, but
When he runs
this
on
one
top
he
of
had
the
too
roofs and
much.
breaks his
ankle.
Yeah.
But this was like this time around it was insane the amount of running he had. Like it was, I would say maybe at some points unnecessary. They made the amount they made the poor guy run, but he's fit.
Yeah.
He's looking a bit
Yeah.
older, of
Yeah.
course, but he is 100% fit.
Yeah.
He's still doing all his stunts.
Yeah.
He did all these stunts like the hanging off the plane.
Yeah.
Did all of that himself. So
Yeah.
good for him, yeah.
Talking about the other characters, did any supporting characters stand out to you?
I think Benji and
Benji always does.
who's that
Yeah.
other oldie poldie?
Luther.
Yeah, I think for them because of that nostalgia,
Yeah. I agree.
it felt nice to see them all again.
Any
Yeah.
thoughts on Grace and Gabriel?
Which one is Gabriel?
Gabriel was the bad guy. The one we fought.
Oh
with.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gabriel, I felt I didn't love his character even in the last film. I didn't love it too much, but I felt Grace I liked.
Yeah.
That was nice to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if am I mistaken or have they changed the actress?
No.
Or is she just looking a bit older?
She's looking older. She's the
Yeah,
same one,
okay. Because I was a bit confused. I was like,
She's been in the last couple of movies actually.
I was like, she doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
But then I think that's just age showing.
Okay, let's get to the good stuff. What
Yeah.
was your favorite action scene or stunt from?
It has to be
submarine.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has
for
to be
sure.
submarine.
For sure.
Yeah.
Not a question.
Though without
about it.
having to like giving too many spoilers to those who
Yeah.
haven't watched it, it's a submarine scene.
How does it rank against the older popular stuff like the Burj Khalifa one, like Hero Jump?
I think they all have their own charm. Like the Burj Khalifa one was like, you know, I think most of us have seen the Burj Khalifa, so to think that he actually was up there, that's crazy. Then like the breaking the ankle one, the charm of that was like,
That he ran right after.
yeah, like he actually broke his ankle in that scene.
And even the bike.
Yeah,
going
where
off
he
the-
jumped off.
Yeah.
So I think all of them have their own charm. I feel this wasn't as really as daring maybe to do, because I think like at the end of the day it was done in a tank, I'm sure. So it's not that intense, but I do feel like it was a cool stunt to see. I'd say visually it was like one of the better stunts. And longer stunts. This was really long, this entire submarine scene.
Talking about the cinematography, visually, did this movie deliver?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
So some of the amazing imagery people are talking about. Can you talk a bit more about that?
I think for me, what really stood out were the low-level shots of the planes flying through, like, you know, between the mountains and all. I think that looked really good for me.
Yeah.
That's where it stood out the most.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, in the film.
Talking about the theme, it dives into some really heavy stuff. AI control, reality being manipulated.
Yeah.
Did it really land for you, or was it just like background noise?
No, I think for me, especially with the whole Chat GPT thing, like, I say thank you and please always when I'm using ChatGPT, just for this reason that if, like, you know, the element actually became a real thing. No, sorry, the entity. If the entity became a real thing, it would love me because I was saying thank you and please to it, whereas it would go and, you know, demolish everyone else. So I think in that sense, it seemed like it wasn't, I'd say maybe 10 years ago, this film would have been a bit too far-fetched and it would be science fiction.
But actually not.
But now it's very real.
Yeah.
You know, you see it as something that can actually happen.
Yeah.
Did it have something really interesting to say about these topics though, or was it just like they were trying to?
So they were, I think, in like easier words, they were basically just trying to show how AI can take over the world.
Yeah.
How they can. I don't want to give any spoilers, but how they took charge of every single, you know, without saying too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say too much, but
Basically, every country was compromised
Yeah.
security-wise. And I think, I mean, you can imagine it happening, but I don't see it being that easy.
it was far-fetched what they actually took control of.
Yeah.
But it shows how powerful
Yeah.
AI is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially.
And I think that really landed with a lot of people. And there were a lot of mentions of Pakistan
Yeah.
represent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was
Absolutely.
quite nice.
Is the final reckoning a satisfying end to the franchise, or do you wish it had stopped after Bola?
I wish there were more after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ending was not like one of those endings where you're actually like
Yeah.
emotional. Where
Like
you're
a see
actually
you
like,
again,
yeah,
Fast and Furious
yeah.
type.
It
No,
was
it
not
wasn't.
like that. Like I didn't get out there thinking, oh my god, I'm not going to watch another Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
But obviously, we just got used to every year, every 2 years watching another,
another one coming
So I guess
out.
when next year doesn't come out, then you feel a bit
Yeah,
like, you know.
it's a bit odd
Yeah.
because, you know, you've always heard of Mission, like since I was a kid, Mission
Yeah.
Impossible, Mission Impossible.
But the end tail for me wasn't. I expected better in terms of the way it ended. Yeah.
I
What
think,
could they do?
I'll tell you what I think. I think they didn't end it better because secretly maybe there's another one coming out.
Maybe.
But I
Could
don't
be.
think that'll happen. I hope so, but I don't think it's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
happen. But yeah, I think overall it's a good watch. I would recommend everyone watch it, but I do think it is a movie for the cinema.
Yep,
Simply because I
100%.
feel like if you're watching it at home, you're going to start using your phone all because it is a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
So until you're essentially forced to sit and watch it, it is likely for you to get a message within those 3 hours. Then you start using your phone, and then you just lose the concept. I think the main part of this film, which got me in it, I was engrossed. I didn't talk to him the entire time. He was throwing popcorn at me, but like I did not react nothing because I was so engrossed in the movie.
You
I
did
think,
react a little bit.
yeah, I
Did
gave
me
you a
fa-
look, bro. I was like, I didn't know who it was. Someone sitting behind me throwing popcorn. But yeah, I think definitely everyone should go watch it.
Yeah.
I think it's a cinema movie.
Definitely, I
So
agree.
go soon and watch it.
For the 89 audience, is it approved or not?
Definitely.
I'd say it's approved. Yeah, I'd give it a solid like 7.5.
7.5.
Or 10. That's a good
No,
review. That's not too
10.
bad.
I'd say an 8.
Yeah.
But
Easy.
fair.
Yeah. 7.5, 8
He's
or 10.
Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid 8 out of 10.
I'm a big critic.
Thank you so much for joining us on 89 Reviews. I'm Abdullah Malik.
I'm
this
Mikhail
is
Said.
Mikhail Said. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to share, comment, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. See you. Take care. See you soon.